Hello, entrepreneurs. It's Michael Mort with Argent Place Law, the law firm for entrepreneurs. We've been talking about independent contractors, and I've given you a lot of information. You're going to want to review those previous posts and videos, but this is about frequently asked questions. Since I started publishing these, a lot of people are asking questions, and they're good questions. So I want to go through as many of those as I can and give you the answers. First one is, when are these laws applicable? Well, the one about allowing your people to sue you for misclassification became effective in Virginia on July 1st of this year, 2020. Many of the other applicable laws, most of the other applicable laws have to do with how the state actor can take action against you, and those become effective January 1st of 2021. Somebody asked if there's a retroactive application to before the law applies, and the answer to that would be no. So people that you've had as independent contractors before July 1st of this year wouldn't be able to sue you for those past times, only beginning July 1st of this year. And again, some of the laws that become effective in January 1st of 2021, for example, the prescription against contracts that are inappropriate, that takes effect in January 1st, 2021, and it wouldn't be retroactive to this period now before January 21st, 2021. That's important though, because when it does become effective, I think some of the other questions are going to apply to that, take that into account. Okay, what employees does it apply to? Would it apply to employees in other states? So the definition that the state uses would be A, and it applies to any citizen of the state of Virginia if that person is an employee or individual who's treated as an independent contractor, who you've treated as an independent contractor, but is classified as an employee. So if that person if that individual is an employee of the state of Virginia, no matter where in the world he works, then this law would apply to them. What about people from other states? Okay, so if they might be a resident of another state like Maryland or DC or Pennsylvania or whatever, and they come here to work in Virginia, the law applies to them as well. You see, it's any place that that Virginia can collect taxes. Well, what if you're a company outside the state of Virginia hiring people in Virginia? Okay, it still applies because Virginia will tax those people. They're going to get employment tax. So those taxes would be applicable. So even if you're a Maryland company and you hire independent contractors in the state of Virginia that provide services within the state of Virginia, or all this other stuff, yeah, it's going to apply to you. And in fact, I've seen that happen with clients in other states, clients that are Virginia companies hiring independent contractors in California. The California law applies to those individuals in California. And so my Virginia companies end up having to treat them like employees. The same thing will happen here. If you're a Maryland company and you hire an independent contractor in Virginia, you're going to be subject to these laws. Okay, next. What if they're only part-time? They're only part-time employees. That does not matter. Part-time employees, if you pay them for services, doesn't matter. They're going to be treated as pay an individual as for services rendered. The state's automatically going to treat them as employees unless you just demonstrate otherwise. Some people say, well, surely if we have a contract, all we have to do is have a contract. The contract says that our relationship is an independent contractor relationship. That should be good enough for us to demonstrate that our relationship is independent contractor, because this is what we both want. Unfortunately, that is not the case. The state of Virginia, in fact, the Department of Taxation makes its own determination. And they use some guidelines given by the IRS, but the department makes the tax department of the state of Virginia makes the determination. And it doesn't matter what your contract says. As a matter of fact, if the contract does not comport with the guidelines set forth by in fact, I should just say, if the contract does not comport with what the state of Virginia Department of Taxation thinks it should, then you'll be actually fined for that. Okay. Could an individual just get some kind of a statement from the state that it's an independent contractor for all the companies it works for? What if you use a standard independent contractor agreement? Well, that would be handy, but there doesn't seem to be any provision for that kind of thing in the law. Every relationship is going to be treated separately. So you might be treated as an independent contractor with this company, but if there's a slight variation in your contract with that company, you might be treated as an employee. So the next question is, once a company and an independent contractor get some determination that their relationship is truly one of independent contractor status, does that the end of the matter? Well, I don't think so. What if you enter into a different contract? Or you might have a master services agreement that says you're going to operate under these different tasks. The independent contractor will say, on one case, provide certain kind of services, and in a different case, provide different kind of services, and maybe the compensation's different. If the compensation turns out to be hourly in some situations, instead of project-oriented, or if the project becomes an integral part of the company's business, all these are factors. That task order might just convert them into an employee. And once they're an employee for everything, not just that task. So it could be very hairy. So one person asks, what does the Department of Taxation do to prove our relationship is not an independent contractor relationship? That's an improper question. They don't have to prove that. They assume that the relationship is an employee relationship, not an independent contractor relationship. You're the ones, the company, and the individual hired as an independent contractor, you're the ones that have to prove that the relationship is an independent contractor relationship. The state automatically assumes that it's an employee relationship if it's with an individual in a company. So the IRS has this form. The next question is, the IRS has this form called the SS-8. What if we fill out this form and we get a determination from the IRS that really this is an independent contractor relationship? Is that good enough? Well, maybe. But the problem is that the state law says that the Department of Taxation of the state of Virginia makes the decision. Now, they might give deference to the finding of the IRS, but they don't have to. It's not in the law that says that they ask the IRS first. The state of Virginia makes its own decision. And by the way, the state of Virginia is doing this at least in part because they want to make more money. They think they're going to get more taxes if they do this. And so will they give deference to the determination of the IRS? I don't know. It's not guaranteed. One person asks, so I'm just a single member LLC. I mean, or the company asks, my independent contractor, should I just tell him to convert to a single member LLC? Yes, I said that would be a good first step. You should definitely do that much. But there's still a question of whether or not a single member LLC with the default taxation rules would be enough to take you out of this law. You see, the IRS will ask, you must submit, the independent contractor agreement must submit an IRS form W-9 to all of the companies that independent contractor works for. Okay? On the W-9, it's going to state what your tax status is. And if you're an LLC, according to IRS rules, on your W-9, if you're an LLC and you haven't made an S Corp or C Corp election, then you must put, as this individual LLC, single member LLC, you must put your personal Social Security number. You may not give on the W-9 to the company you work for, you may not give the company's EIN. So that really looks like an individual, not an LLC, working as an independent contractor for a company. I don't know how the state of Virginia is going to look at this, because the contract is with a LLC, but the documentation says individual. So how are they going to treat this? That's an unknown at this point in time. What should I do? So the company says, okay, so I need to make sure that the independent contractors I hire are LLCs and hopefully taxed as an S Corp or a C Corp. Yes, that would be best if they're willing to do that. So the company says, well, what can I do to make sure that they are taxed as an S Corp or a C Corp if they're single member LLCs? Well, you have to get that W-9. And there's furthermore, you could put some language in the contract that you have with this independent contractor. You could put some language that says, you have to certify, you have to represent to us, the company that's hiring you as an independent contractor, you have to certify that you will maintain your status as an S Corp. That would help. Because if they don't do that, then you can come back to them and say, you didn't do this, this is according to the contract. Okay, finally, let's say this one. What do you need to do, or when do you need to address this issue? Okay, that's a good question. So already the employees could sue you saying that they've been misclassified as an employee. That already started beginning January 1st of this year. But most of you are saying that your people wouldn't do that. The bigger issue is, will the state come after you starting January 1st, 2021? I think you must do something before January 1st, 2021. You must basically terminate independent contractor agreements that you have with individuals and tell them that they must form an LLC and you must contract with that LLC, at least that. And I said maybe guarantee that they're also an S Corp. And when should you do that? You should have that contract in place beginning January 1. That's the easiest thing for everyone. Say it starts January 1, 2021. But you need to get this rolling now, because I bet if you have a contract with an independent contractor now who's an individual, whatever, there's probably a notice period if you want to terminate that contract. You might have to give 30 days notice. But you and the independent contractor can come to some agreement if there's more than 30 days. This video is being recorded at the beginning of November. So maybe there's going to be more than 30 days, maybe there's 60 days or 90 days notice. You could come to some agreement with them to say, let's terminate this and get a new contract in place between the company and your LLC. Okay, I'm sure there are a lot more questions, and this is going to go on for a long time. I'm sure there's going to be court cases, and there's going to be a lot of gnashing of teeth, and there's going to be a lot of pushback. Because a lot of people are going to say, I just don't want, this is a part-time employee and they don't want to be an independent contractor, all this other stuff. But the problem is that there are severe penalties if you're caught in the wrong way. I'm sorry to be telling you all of this stuff, and I have to make the final caveat statement that this is not legal advice. I'm not your lawyer. You need to contact your lawyer. If you want to contact us and become represented by us, we can give you more details. We can assess your specific situation. But this is for educational purposes only. And believe me, we want to educate you on this because I don't think it's being done, enough is being done to make sure that you're protected. I'm Michael Moore with Argent Place Law, the law firm for entrepreneurs, and we're doing this kind of stuff because we're looking out for you. Thanks for listening.